The wind howls over the sand, the sound of a fallen empire beneath the pale moon. The desert stretches endlessly. Aiming is silent. Two swords clash, not with fury but with fate. Zhang stares at the horizon, the sword in hand, the final answer. They chase the sacred object of Shiyu through fire, through betrayal. On the sandbar, Sariya waits, her cloaked shadow a lie in the shape of a woman. She guides them, or sends them to ruin. Ahead, the illusory city begins to rise, half fact, half legend. Ownerless power in the west, the hunt never ends. The Silk Road Shadows, Part 3, Shadows of the West. The caravan stretches across the desert, a stream of silken shadows flowing to the horizon. Ming and Zhang ride side by side. The wind whispers, secrets buried under centuries of sand. The air smells of spices, sweat, and storms that haven't arrived yet. Among the travelers rides a figure in a golden robe atop a pitch-black horse, more elegant than a merchant, more silent than a noble. Every time Ming looks, they look away, but the shadow remains. Zhang leans in. Someone is watching. Ming's hand rests on his sword. I know. The sun sinks, the shadows stretch, and ahead danger awaits. The game has started. A flickering light in the desert, long shadows swaying in the wind. Zhang kneels by the fire, fingers tracing the edges of an old map. Blood seeps into the paper, turning ink into a wound. In the center, a single symbol. The sun swallowed by a knife, and beside it, a name scratched in haste. Al-Rashid. Across the fire, Ming sharpens his sword. The rhythm of steel against stone merges with the silence of the night. Zhang whispers, "This is not just a path, it's a warning." The blade stops. Ming replies, "Then we'll leave at first light." And before me, the desert waits, still, watching. Under the fading moonlight, the ruins of an ancient city rise from the sand. Like the bones of a beast the world tries to forget. The pillars still stand, scarred by wind and war. The air hangs heavy, not with emptiness, but with something that hasn't revealed itself. Ming and Zhang stopped their horses, breaths held, eyes fixed on the sleeping city. Sariya once spoke of this place, a city swallowed by betrayal, a burial ground of secrets. Zhang grips the reins. She brought us here from the beginning, right? Ming stares into the shadows. If so, we were never hunters. The wind whistles through the doorless gap, and under the cold moonlight, the shadows move. At dawn, the desert is still, but when Ming stepped out of the tent, a warning waited before the sun. A dagger, driven deep into the wooden pole. The steel blade glinted in the cold morning light. On its handle, a red snake, coiled, fangs bared. Zhang approached, silent. His eyes were heavy. He pulled a scrap of paper from beneath the blade. Rough, ink smeared in haste. Step back, or you will be swallowed by darkness. The wind stirred, sweeping sand from the ground like breath through teeth. A warning, or a challenge? Ming closed his eyes. His fingers brushed the hilt, and he whispered, "We move forward." The dunes curve like golden waves, and at their highest point, she is standing, Sariya. The wind stirs her cloak. The sand dances beneath her feet. Moonlight traces the sharp lines of her face. But the eyes, they carry something, a regret not yet erased, a secret never spoken. Zhang whispers, "She's back." Ming grips his sword tighter, or maybe she never left. Sariya's hand rests on the hilt of her knife, not pulling, not keeping, a decision still hanging in the wind. The wind howls between them, dense, heavy, full of questions that no one dares to say out loud. The desert stretches without mercy until they saw it. Oasis. A single date palm sways gently in the wind. Emerald leaves whisper, silver water glimmers. In the afternoon sun relief should have come. But in Ming's heart, only cold, a pressure like something unseen tightening. Zhuoheng steps forward, drops beside the pool, scoops the water drinks, but then he freezes. The reflection in the water is not his face. Ah! Ming drew his sword. The surface ripples. The palm trees sway. No, shimmers like a mirage peeling away. This place is not real. The wind stops. Everything holds its breath. Then, a voice. Laughter. Soft. Deep. All around them. The first light of dawn paints the sand with gold and fire. The silence is beautiful. For a moment, from the horizon they appear. A group of horsemen, moving as one. Silent, steadfast. Their robes flutter like storm clouds in the desert wind. Their faces hidden behind smooth, seamless silver masks. And beneath the metal, only emptiness. No flags, no shouts, no golden offers. Not merchants, not thieves. Zhang whispers, they are predators. Ah, Ming tightens his grip. His hand finds the sword at his waist. The leader of the procession raises one hand. A signal, a silent command. And then, they charge, all at once, as if in one breath. The sound in the desert market echoed. Merchants shouting over silk and steel. The scent of roasted spices drifted on the wind. Beneath striped canvas tents, negotiators, gamblers, and the wandering sword, a fighter for coin. But then, the crowd parted. The sound of metal rang out. Ah Ming's sword met another edge, sparks in the hot air. His opponent cloaked in black, a face lost in dust and shadow. Fast, violent, unflinching. At first, they cheered. A show, they thought. But then, fire in the eyes, precision in the steps, and the flash of death in every swing. This was no performance. Someone wanted Ah Ming dead, and the market became his battlefield. The inn smells of spiced wine, wet wood, and unspoken dangers. Shadows flicker on cracked walls. Travelers sip their liquor in silence, their stories, too heavy to tell in one night. Across the table, an old man leans in. His face was carved by time, but the eyes? Still sharp, still clear. His voice was barely more than the wind. Are you looking for Al-Rashid? Ah Ming and Zhang glance at each other, silent. Flames cast broken shadows across the table. In the center, the map, and the mark? The sun, swallowed by a knife. The old man sighs, shakes his head. Then, you are looking for someone who has died. Outside, the wind whistles through the alleys, as if the desert itself is trying to bury the name. The wind howled, carrying the scent of dry rocks and old dust into the air. Then the fortress appeared, carved into the jagged cliff face, towering like a ghost from a forgotten era. Stone towers embedded in the mountain, walls fused to the rock. No flags, no guards, but in the air eyes, watching, always. Zhang exhales, the path ends here. Ah Ming's gaze fixed on the ancient stone gate. The last whisper of the holy legend led them to this moment. But they are not alone. Along the ridges, shadows shift, silent, without footprints, waiting. The assassins have arrived. Inside the fort, the air is thick, dusty, heavy with the silence of what the world tried to forget. And there she stood, Sariya, her cloak dragging behind her like a shadow, her breath steady, still. But today, no mask, no curtain, no half-avoided truths. The eyes that once hid everything, now burn? Regret? Or something harder? Zhang's fingers hover near his sword. Ah Ming steps forward. Sariya closes her eyes and speaks, softly. But it ends everything. You shouldn't have found this. Her eyes flick behind her, to the ancient stone. Something buried, half in rock, half in time. Then she looks back, steady, final. Especially if you still want to breathe. Cold iron touched Ah Ming's throat. The hooded assassin held him firm, controlled. One move, and it ends. But they hesitated. A single heartbeat. Too fast to catch, too long to ignore. Ah, Ming locked eyes beneath the hood, and there it was, something hidden. A memory, a fracture, a war not yet decided. Zhang's voice shattered the silence, sharp, cold, final. If you want to kill, then just kill. But the blade didn't move. The moment stretched, pulled thin, nearly torn. Then the blade withdrew, slowly. Ming exhaled, long, heavy. The shadow was gone. Thick smoke swallows the sky, turning the evening sun to falling charcoal. Below the city burns, flames lick the rooftops, devouring wood silk, and hope. Screams echo through the alleys, the clash of metal. Soldiers, bandits, fanatics, all fighting for the same thing. Weapons of legend, some want power, forbidden treasures to shift the fate of an empire. Others have guarded it for centuries, and would rather see the city turn to ash than let it fall into the wrong hands. In the shadow of a collapsing temple, Ming and Zhang stand in silence, watching the flames rise. Zhang grits his teeth. If we don't act now, everything will be ruins. Ming drew his sword, his eyes locked on the fire. Then we just walk through it. The wind howled across the sand, carrying the last warmth of a dying sun beneath Zhang's feet. The sand still held the scars of battle, scars of trust shattered. His grip on the sword was tight, but he didn't lift it. Ahead, only footprints, fading into the desert. Sariya's. She didn't look back. She didn't say goodbye. Behind them, Ming stood, between them, and the silence. It was so heavy, it almost broke. Zhang exhaled, voice steady, but hollow. She has made up her mind. Ming looked at the horizon, at the shadow that once walked beside them, then turned to Zhang. And now, it's time for us to make a decision. Inside the large tent, the air is heavy, scented with Mir's fragrance, and power that doesn't need to be shouted. Torchlight flickers across silk walls, casting shadows like a game yet to be played. In the center, a chessboard of gold and onyx, unmoving, waiting. Reclining on a velvet cushion, Al-Rashid. Slender fingers lift the black horse, move it slowly, firmly, like judgment. Ming and Zhang stand on opposite sides, their hands resting on swords. But Al-Rashid, he smiles. The smile of a man who's played this game too many times to lose. Do you think you're players? His voice is gentle and cold. The horse takes the pawn. Not at all. He leans forward. Firelight dances in his eyes. Deep, black, certain. You are pawns. An ancient sheet of paper, unfolded on a stone table worn by time. Its edges curl, the ink fades. But still, under flickering lamplight, it can be read. Ming traces the lines, the double compass, crossed symbols, hidden paths, dot complex, precise. A destination veiled in silence. What they seek is no mere artifact. It is power, greater than any throne, any sword. But the Brotherhood of the Blood Cloak never wanted to use it. Zhang's voice cuts through the quiet. Low, tight. They never thought of releasing it. Ming's eyes grow dark. The weight settles on his shoulders, like dust on a forgotten grave. They just want to bury it forever. The altar was silent. Only the faint crackle of distant torches down the corridor. An ancient stone wall, heavy with centuries no one remembers. And in the center, a carved platform. Upon it, the only thing that still breathes. The weapon of Ji Yu. It doesn't glow. It doesn't fade. It hovers in between. An immortal force, but it is not life. Ming and Zhang stand before it, silent, breaths held like a vow unspoken. Zhang whispers, touching it, awakens something that was never meant to be found. Ming's fingers hover, not touching, but close enough to change the world. One choice, own it, or let it vanish into the dark forever. The desert wind howled, carrying dust and the scent of destruction. In front, the west wide open, freedom behind them, a storm, dark, violent, endless. Ming drove his horse forward. Zhang followed close, sand tearing the air, skin stung, breath stolen. And in the swirl of the storm they saw it, a shadow moving, relentless, silent, like an oath that refuses to break. The wind died away, but Ming didn't need to hear the words. He already knew. We have to ride faster. The wind screams against the cliffs, carrying salt and the cold breath of crashing waves. Below, the sea roars, a hungry beast. Ming's sword clashes, iron meeting iron. The sound shatters the air. Sparks dance mid-air. He deflects the killing blow. At the last second, beside him, Zhang moves like instinct, each strike precise. Every step laid on the edge of the abyss. The enemy is relentless. Shadows in motion. Assassins, cloaked in silence. One wrong step means death. A blade tears through Ming's sleeve. Just an inch, but it's enough. He counters. Diagonal. Swift. The enemy falls. Swallowed by the void. Zhang's breath shakes. Enough. It's time. No more running. No more retreat. Beneath them, the sea rages. And ahead, the heart of the shadow. They charge forward, into the end. The sea stretches as far as the eye can see. Silent. But silence is never truly empty. Sunsets painting the horizon in golden fire. Ming's hands are only breathing space. Zhang narrows his eyes, hand on the hilt. We are not alone. The edge of the sea, a ship slices through the dusk, its sails blood-colored. The Brotherhood of the Red Cloak is not finished, and the hunt continues.